Hello, hello.
Hello.
Hey, what's going on?
Nothing much. Just enjoying my night.
All right,
How are you
cool.
doing?
I'm doing all right. Can you hear me okay?
And yes,
All right, awesome. So, Abby Rose, welcome. Thank you for doing this.
of course.
And we have Alex.
We do. Yes. He should be coming on soon, I
Oh,
think.
okay, cool. So how are you tonight? How's everything? How's the weather down here or up there
It's
actually?
yeah. It's gorgeous tonight. It's clear skies. Moon's out. In like the 60s, so there's a nice breeze. It's such a change from like the muggy weather we've been having.
Oh, okay, yeah, because it's been raining down here too a lot. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's just been crazy. But so how weird is it that a guy from Instagram contacted you to to find out about how you do what you do?
I mean, knowing how like some of the industry works, I wasn't too like taken aback. A couple of my friends have more have their profiles out there more, so that they're usually the ones that get it. So I was pleasantly surprised that someone wanted to do one of these with me and like my other friends as well that cosplay.
Okay, okay. And the other one that does it with you is Jessica. Is that right?
That is right, yes.
Okay, and she does like all kinds of. Well, I know you do like you have like two or three different ones that you do that I've seen.
Yeah, I do Richard from The Walking Dead. I do Rick from The Walking Dead. I did the Governor, and I have one in store that I'm going to bring out in Atlanta.
Oh, awesome! That's awesome. Cool.
Yeah, I'm excited for that.
I bet you are. That sounds pretty cool. So, like, what drew you to the whole like cosplaying world? Like, what about the show that made you have an interest in that whole industry?
Well, I grew up like being very young. I was always dressing up as someone. I think my first memory is like I dressed up as Buzz Lightyear when I was very young. Then
Right.
it was like Scooby Doo, and then I kind of fell away from that, focusing on school. So then when I got into The Walking Dead, I started like seeing these characters, and I'm just like, wow, these are like some really good characters that I want to be able to like portray and even like possibly like act as in the future.
Right.
So I was speaking with Jessica about a year ago, and we were talking about Richard, and she's like, "Well, I cosplay Carl and I cosplay Diane from the Kingdom," and she's like, "You should do Richard," and I'm just like, "Well, I guess I'll give it a try." I'd never done cosplay professionally, I want to say.
Right.
So I'm just like, this is my opportunity. I can try something interesting and try something new and see if I like it.
That's awesome. Because I mean, I know like in the show there's like different like characters that do different things, and I know other people do other things and stuff like that. Is there any kind of you have like an attachment you have towards the characters, or is it just like did you have like
There's
a sorry?
there's definitely an attachment, I think. Um, I usually go for characters that can draw you in with their backstory, and the more mysterious they are, the more you want to know more about them. So, taking Richard, for instance, when he first came into the episode of The Well, and the camera lingered on him, and I was just kind of sitting there, and I'm just like, this guy's going to be important in this season. No matter who he is or what his story is, he's going to have an impact.
Right.
So,
Right.
I think going after those kinds of characters is what really brings me into the show and makes me more invested in their character, and just being able to cosplay them and try to like delve into their character, like reading between the lines of like what the actor has said and like how they behaved in the show is just something that I've loved to do.
Right. Right. And you said you also you do a little acting too, or is that right?
I do. I don't have many credentials for that. I started recently, as I was in college. I got a very small part in a college film club we were doing. I was the best friend of the main character,
Mm-hmm.
so we got some of that done. We have released a trailer for that. We don't know how much we're going to get done of it, but
Right.
it was definitely a really good experience. I definitely learned a bit more about like how filming is and directing, and it was really fun.
That's cool. Does Alex do any kind of acting like that or?
I don't believe so. Other than his cosplays, which have just been fantastic, like his Jerry cosplay, it's
Yeah.
just out of the world.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
agree. I agree.
yeah.
And
But
you've met like the characters like a couple times, like because I've noticed that you met like the guy who plays Jerry. I can't remember his name for anything, and I've tried to remember it all day, and I can't remember his
yeah,
name. But
I've met Cooper Andrews, who plays Jerry.
Cooper Andrews, that's
I've
it.
met Kari Payton, who plays Ezekiel.
Yep.
I've met Michael Cudlitz, who plays Abraham,
Awesome.
and we've met. Um, I believe his name is Scott Green for
Right.
Herschel.
Right.
I, don't quote me on his name. I know we met Herschel. We were able to meet him.
Right.
Um, we were able to get a picture with Morales, who made his short comeback in season 8,
Uh huh.
which
Yeah.
was it was pretty cool. He like hopped into our picture, our cosplay picture at the very end of Walker Stalker, New Jersey.
Right. I heard I heard he's kind of sneaky with them pop ups. He
Yeah,
likes to pop up in there. Uh,
yeah. It was. He just like we were all in a group together taking pictures, and his booth was right in front of us, and the curtain opened, and he popped his head out, and he's like, "Oh my gosh!" Like he's like, "This is awesome. I want to get in this picture." So we're like, "Of course, anyone's welcome to take pictures."
right. Right. That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, it's funny because like the more I watch the show and the more because I've been watching since like I think 2013 or something like that,
Hmm.
and the more I notice like there's this very strong family connection, and I mean if you watch like the I don't know if you're familiar with the Talking Dead. Do you watch the Talking Dead at all afterwards?
I watched it periodically.
Periodically, you get like this sense of you know community and family with them. That's like it's kind of cool because it's like hanging out with your best friends almost all the time.
Yeah, it's definitely something I've not really been used to. Like walking into The Walking Dead, and this fandom has just been they're so welcoming. Like the actors are amazing. Even like the fans, like meeting Jessica and Alex and everyone else in our little group has just been, just great.
Yeah, I mean you guys have like one heck of a following. It's just kind of amazing, because there's a lot of like other cosplayers that do different things too, and it's just fascinating that it's gone into like this super like world where it's just like you kind of lose yourself in the whole
Hmm.
thing and make you know have a passion for it. It's really interesting.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Um. So like, what's been your experience like as far as like at the cons? Like whenever you go to a con, like is it always like like a surreal experience, or is it just kind of like does it feel more of like do you have fun, or is it more of a is it kind of like more of a job, or is it more like I could do this like for the rest of my life type of thing?
All right, so I've gone to some local conventions around my area, um, and going to the local ones, it's not nearly as like involved as a Walker Stalker. So I cosplayed as Negan and went to a local con last year around this time,
I noticed that.
and
I noticed that.
yeah, yeah. So some people recognized me, some didn't. I got called like the girl with the baseball bat, So
Right.
it kind of was a bit different because that was my first con I ever cosplayed at, and I was a bit uncomfortable because first of all you're walking around with like this huge barbed wire bat, and some people are just like, hey, that's Negan. Others are like, well, who are you?
Yeah.
So for something like a local con, it doesn't feel the same as like a Walker Stalker. So my first Walker Stalker was Boston, last year, and I went as Richard and met up with Jessica and Alex, and we were the Kingdom.
Hmm.
And personally, Boston was a super small Walker Stalker, but for my first Walker Stalker, I think it was an excellent experience, like getting to know like how the actors react to cosplayers and how the fans themselves that are there react to cosplayers. Like we drew eyes and we drew attention when we
Right.
walked around because we
Yeah.
have all the armor on. We're in a group together, so people are
Right.
going to be like, hey, here are the Kingdom, or hey, here are cosplayers that are part of this Walking Dead show.
Yeah. Yeah. I get that. I mean, you're gonna attract that kind of attention. I mean, if anybody's like a true fan like we are, like like Community, they'll notice in an instant. I mean, they'll notice.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
So, but yeah, it's just I don't know. It's just interesting to see because it's like since the advent of like technology and internet and like social media and stuff like that, it's just kind of you feel a little sense of that community, when you see people, do stuff like this, and there's other people that I follow too that they do like gaming characters and everything like that. Have you ever thought about like doing something outside of The Walking Dead or?
Yeah, yeah. I'm heavily into video games, and most of like the mainstream ones like Overwatch and just stuff like that. So I had a Soldier 76 mask because I was wanting to do a Soldier 76 cosplay, but
Oh
just between like Walking Dead cosplays and just going to school and trying to find a job, it's just kind of been like a bit difficult for me to collect all of his stuff.
yeah,
So I
yeah,
mean, if given the opportunity, I would more than likely want to cosplay, something out of a video game or even like another show. But as of right now, I'm just going to stick to Walking Dead characters and try to perfect those cosplays.
right, yeah. Because I mean, once you stick to something, I mean, you kind of have to really, if you want to get it right, I mean, you have to kind of really just do your homework, and it seems like you've done everything right. It's incredible. Your cosplay is amazing, and
Thank you.
Alex is amazing too. I mean, you guys are incredible, and the whole gang. And
Yeah, thank you.
you're welcome. And it's kind of funny because it's like when you have that like I was talking about before, like with a sense of community, and because you said you were in school or you're out of school or
I'm still in school in college.
you're in college. Okay, what are you going for?
I'm going for screenwriting.
Oh, okay, cool, cool. Screenwriting, yeah, because you get that kind of like that sense of community, like where you feel, you know, there has to be balance inside your character, just like it would be if you were actually on the actual show. You have to kind
Right.
of maintain that character, and do you ever experience like any difficult times where it's like any kind of rough kind of times where it's like it's more easier one days and like more harder to the next or
Um, when it comes to just life in general, we all have like those kinds of days. I mean, I get those days often. So just saying, going off of that, when I'm cosplaying or like when I'm working on a cosplay or like planning, I kind of forget about that because I know that as an actress, you just kind of want to get into the mindset of a different character that's not yourself. So, again, like just because I have more experience with the Richard character, he portrayed this very like quiet, very mysterious, very soft-spoken sort of uh, depressed individual. So it's like I kind of have to leave what I'm going through behind and get into his mindset of like, okay, I'm gonna go to a con as just as this character that I kind of need to be able to relate to, but also try to get into his head and see, how he would react. Which there have been times where it's been difficult because you're not the character and the character's already been portrayed by another actor. So it's like
hmm
you kind of want to also add like a your own personal twist as well.
right, right. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I could see how that could get difficult because you have to wrap your head around it, and as as a fan, it's just like you see that on screen, but you know that they're they're more than just that character, and they have just real world problems just like everybody else,
Right, right.
and it's kind of it hits home, you know. What did
Yeah.
yeah? So what did you think about the season finale? Did you laugh? Did you cry? What was the status on that?
Well, I saw the season finale in theaters, which was amazing to say the least. Just being able to go and see this TV show that's brought in such like a huge gathering in like the theaters is just amazing.
That's awesome.
Um, yeah. So upon seeing the season finale, I thought that it held true to the fact that many of like the actors and even Scott Gimple were saying that it would be almost a conclusion to like everyone's stories leading up to this moment.
Right.
So when I had seen it in theaters, I'm just like, this was a pretty decent conclusion to you know, the Rick and Negan all out war conflict, it kind of had a really nice conclusion to Carl's wishes of, let's have no more killing, no more fighting. So when Rick, saved Negan from like anyone else that could have possibly came, like Maggie,
Right.
or
Right.
anyone else that maybe wanted to take like a cheap shot.
Right.
Rick was like, no, we saved Negan and we have to move on. We can't just keep killing people and like taking over their place, or we have to be able to find a way to just move on.
Yeah.
So I thought the way it was written was great, and the fact that Negan lived, just it kind of it suited the conclusion of the season 8 season.
Yeah. Because I mean, it was interesting to see because I mean, you have like this feeling like all season long that they're gonna just kill each other at the end, and it's just gonna be like an all out, like you said, an all out war. And I
Hmm.
mean, that was pretty much. I guess that's pretty much where they were going. They wanted you to think, well, this is what's gonna, how it's gonna lay out, but it's not really gonna, play out like that. And
Yeah.
the thing that was shocking to me the most was that not only, well, I mean, Rick had a point, and I think he was just like following what Carl, what Carl told him and what he wrote to him in the letters, and it was kind of like him just saying, okay, we have to make a change. We just can't keep killing because it's just not going to go anywhere.
Right. Right.
Um, and then now I think it's kind of crazy because now Maggie and Jesus and Daryl are all like gonna, I guess they're alliancing against Rick and Negan now, and it's kind of putting them in like a
Yeah.
corner. You know.
Yeah, I thought that was really interesting because we've seen internal conflict before, like in the prison when Rick butted heads with a couple of the other characters. So it's been a while since we've seen some kind of inner conflict between the original characters. So when they had the close up of Maggie and they had like the camera angle where it started to get darker and the music in the background, it was just like, okay, this is going to be huge going to the next season. Like,
Right.
Maggie was trying, everything she was doing was for Glenn, and Negan killed Glenn. So she, just to see this man that she's been with, Rick, just not kill Negan after what he did to Glenn. It would just I think she's she has a point of what she wants to do. How it's going to be brought up and like gone about in the next season, I'm very excited and curious to see.
Yeah. Me too. Me too. I mean, for the most part, it was just it was kind of funny because like when that whole thing unraveled and I'm sitting there watching and I'm like because I knew for like a fact that that Eugene had a plan. Like I wasn't really, no one was really sure. Like no one really knew, you know, what he was really up to for real.
Right.
But I think there was like little Easter eggs throughout the season that kind of led you in that direction, and that's kind of what I was hoping for.
Hmm.
But then like to see her visceral reaction, like that hate that she had, like when he spared him, when Rick spared Negan, it was like that was just coming out, and it was so much on her part. It was just so much of like just rage and revenge, and she had all that built up, and she was just expecting like a better outcome.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Like just to see her just break apart, and I think it was Michonne's arms is just begging and pleading Rick to kill Negan was just, I think, her breaking point. Like she was the first person to stand after Negan killed Glenn and Abraham. So she was up there and she was like, we have to rebuild, we have to go to war.
Hmm.
And she brought back, old Rick and everyone like that. So just to see her just break and just fall apart it was so sad and so emotional. Just, she did so much and just like almost have it like come crashing down around her as like Rick spares Negan. It's gotta change you.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it was just sad. It was sad, and it was just like it was kind of relieving that they came to that conclusion though, because I get where Rick was coming from, but I also understand Maggie's side of it where it was just it was total chaos. You got to admit though, I mean, Eugene's pretty sneaky. He got right in there and he did what he was supposed to do, and it was kind of like, wow, that was worth it. You know, it was just like
Oh,
crazy.
totally.
So yeah, it's a pretty interesting show. Do you have any other shows like that you're passionate about, like besides like The Walking Dead? I mean, is there any other type of shows like this that you would be interested in?
Um, I've seen The Last Ship, which is on TNT. They're currently going into their fifth and final season.
Ah, again.
It's yeah, it's they are well the series is ending, and The Last Ship just quickly is just about it's another post-apocalyptic world scenario
Hmm.
where it's more realistic. You know, there aren't corpses coming back, but there is a plague, and it is taking out a large percentage of the population.
Right.
And this naval ship has the doctor in it, and they basically have the cure. But there's a lot of conflict between the governments and um, the different people in charge, and just figuring out like who's really trying to help the world and who's trying to take over the world.
Wow.
So yeah, it's an insanely good show. The characters are very well written, and I'm really excited to like see what they're gonna come out with for the final season.
That does sound exciting. Really exciting. Are you familiar with Breaking Bad?
I've heard a lot about it. I haven't had a chance to watch it though.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I mean it's pretty interesting. I mean it's a really good show. It's produced by AMC too, I believe, but
Hmm.
it's pretty different, but it's really good. It's a must watch. It's one of those nights you're not doing nothing, you just binge watch on Netflix or whatever.
Yeah, I'll have to get into that eventually.
Yeah, yeah. So like what led you to do like what led you to do like acting and stuff like that? Is it just like a passion, or did you have a favorite movie you saw, or what kind of what kind of direction did you want to take?
Well, as I stated earlier, I grew up, dressing up as Buzz Lightyear and Scooby Doo and whatnot, and I'm just like, I never really thought of being an actress. I never was like, oh, I want to be an actress, and then I started to get into movies and different actors I would find in movies, and I would just start to watch their movies, and I would suddenly go like, oh, you know, I could do something like this. This might be something I could possibly do. Just start to act.
Hmm.
So in around about 2013, I saw a lot of like plays on in the city on Broadway, and I'm still sitting here, and I'm like, okay, I've never acted before in my life.
Right.
Can I possibly get into this? Can I possibly start doing this as like a potential career? So
Hmm.
then high school kind of rolls around. I'm not really focused on acting. I didn't really try out for anything,
Right.
and then um, after I got into The Walking Dead a bit more, when I started to cosplay, I'm like, this is something I really kind of want to start doing is, just getting into this character and writing and seeing where I can, just me, myself, I can take a character that's written, by someone. And I just find that so appealing at this point in my life is just the fact that, you can totally transform yourself into this character that's been written and
Yep.
be able to make people feel something, just by like your facial expression or like, the script you're reading from or, whatnot.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's pretty interesting too, because I mean, it takes a general focus to kind of immerse yourself in a role and just kind of have that kind of you know selflessness to kind of just get inside that person's life and find out all the different things that it might uncover and stuff like that.
Yes, yes, exactly.
Hmm. How long have you been cosplaying for?
Um, I'm gonna say about a year, I believe.
Oh, okay.
So I'm relatively new to the cosplaying scene.
Oh, and like, has everybody been doing it at the same amount of time? Did you guys do it at the same time, or?
Um, I believe Jessica had been cosplaying as Carl years before I even like started to cosplay or even wanted to. I'm not too sure about Alex. Hopefully, if he joins, you can ask him that. But
Right.
yeah, I'm new to it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. How do you say his last name again? I didn't.
I think Quiles.
Quiles. Okay. I just don't want to be like Alex. I don't. What's your last name? I didn't want to be like
Yeah.
stumbly. You know.
Yeah, yeah, I get that.
Yeah. But I'll have you know, like this is my first ever podcast, and I just wanted to let you know because if you hear my voice, it's just kind of strange. It's just just shaky a little bit. It's just a little bit of nerves, but
You're fine. This is actually my first podcast and slash interview that I've ever done. So,
really.
yeah, yeah.
Well, according to your career path, you might have a lot more because you seem like you have a lot of talent on your side and you have a good head on your shoulders. So
Thank you.
yeah, so but like I was saying, you just to immerse yourself, into a role and to see
Yeah.
yourself like if you said I want to do a role and I want to see myself on screen, how do you think that would make you feel if you saw yourself like on the big screen and like a major type of movie?
I think personally, I would feel very uncomfortable and very nervous as, believe it or not, I'm like very camera shy. So to be able to see myself like on a big screen, if that were to happen, I would definitely feel a lot of like pride knowing that I was able to like overcome a lot of my fears and to like get out there and to be in front of a camera, be acting and be on the big screen.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
but as of right now, I'm nervous about how I will be when I start to act and like when I'm acting, because there's with all the technology and the social media going around, there's a lot of different reactions to different actresses and actors. So it's almost like you want to strive to be the best that you possibly can,
Mm-hmm.
and just be able to get out there and just, you know, show people, the talent that's out there and what you can do and what you can push yourself to do.
Absolutely, absolutely, I agree. Yeah. Um, yeah, it's kind of, and it's like a hard thing because it's like such a tough industry to break into, and
Oh
to
yeah. Oh
from what
yeah.
I've heard. I don't really know for sure because I'm not on the level that you're at because you have a little bit more of a foot in the door as far as that goes.
Yes, yes. A small foot, but hopefully it will help me in the future.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So like does Jessica do like different? She does. I knew she does like I don't know which ones that she does as far as like cosplaying, but I know that I know which ones Alex does, and I know which ones you do. But which ones does she do? Does she do anything different?
Um, I know she does Carl.
Right.
Um,
She does a really good
she
Carl.
does. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
she's probably one of the best Carls I've seen. With like the eye patch and the poncho and stuff.
Yeah.
So she's done Carl. She does Diane from the Kingdom.
Diane. Yep.
And one of her newest ones is Maggie. So I'm excited to see her in all of her Maggie cosplay and her outfit.
Yeah. Yeah. That's right. She does Maggie too. I forgot about that.
Yeah, I think she just started doing her recently.
Hmm. So,
I'm here.
ah,
Hey, hi guys.
hey, how's it
Hi,
going?
Alex.
Yeah, I thought I was on speaker, but I wasn't. So I got the phone close.
How you doing?
All right, good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Welcome, welcome. Thank you for doing this, man.
Hey, you're welcome. No problem.
I heard that you're pretty mean, Jerry, on the strip there.
Oh yeah, that's the best guy, the funniest guy there in the group. So
That's awesome. Um, so like, how long have you been doing cosplay and stuff like that? How long has it been?
for about over a year,
Oh
just
yeah.
now, like a year and a couple months.
Now, did you guys all meet together, or was it just like, did you just come from different parts and just meet at a con, or how did that come about?
Yeah, well, we all meet up in a con at Boston. I guess it was last August, I think it was, and then we met up again in Jersey in December.
Oh, okay. Abby, are you still there?
Yes, I'm still here.
Oh, okay, just making sure. I saw your
Yeah.
name on the thing, and I'm just like, I hope she can still hear us.
Yeah, no, I'm here.
Okay. But yeah, that's cool. So, do you guys all reside in Jersey, or is it different parts?
I'm from Jersey. Abbey is you could tell her Abbey, so I don't want to like say.
I'm from New York,
Oh, okay, New York. I'm from New York. Which part?
upstate Albany.
Oh, all right. I'm from Long Island. I'm from the dirty part.
Oh yes, yeah, I'm upstate, not city.
Yeah, you're from the good part. You're from the natural part where all the wildlife is. I'm from the metropolitan part.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's pretty interesting. So, Alex, so like, what other kind of cosplays do you do besides like Jerry and I believe you said you did Negan or something like that?
No, I did once. I did Merle also
Merle.
from The Walking Dead. That was actually the first one, but it was like a last minute thing. I didn't have all the real stuff that he wears. I only had like stuff that looked real close to what he was wearing. But
Right.
those are the only two that I really done, like Merle, Jerry, and now that I started doing like a mixture of like Jerry and Shiva together
Oh yeah.
and stuff.
I saw you riding the
Uh,
Shiva. I saw that. That was pretty good.
yeah.
um.
So now I'm planning to do something else. I started looking up, but it's something weird. I haven't even started anything yet. I just started looking at some pictures today and thinking about mixing something up with like same thing with Shiva
Mhm.
and like some Marvel superhero stuff, like a mixture like that.
Oh, that's cool.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so it's gonna take me some time to work
Have
that
you?
out.
Yeah. Yeah. Have you guys seen the new Avengers film?
I have.
Oh,
I
okay.
have not.
You have not? Okay. Well, you, man, it's pretty interesting. I'm sure Alex knows too. I mean, I've seen it twice, so I mean, it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Yeah, I just finished watching last week and I saw the Deadpool 2, so that was pretty funny too. So I don't know if you've seen it.
Yeah, I have. I have. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. I enjoy those. This is pretty good. It was really. They have so many Easter eggs, man. It's so funny because like when Ryan Reynolds found out about that, I heard him talking about how he found out about Deadpool and how he he was on set doing Blade 3 when he found out.
Oh
And
wow.
yeah, someone handed him a comic book of Deadpool, and he started reading it on set. And
Huh.
from there, he was like hooked, and he just started like I guess building a story. And well, I don't know if he wrote. I think he wrote part of it, but
Oh, all right, cool.
yeah, he had the idea from there. It's pretty neat.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like okay, so you guys like, do you do like how many cons do you guys actually attend like a year? Is there a certain amount that you reach or?
Well, I do a whole bunch, like, cause I bought a pass for Walker Stalker. They were doing something like for charity or something, and they was trying to raise money, so they
Hmm.
were selling like two passes, platinum passes, and two gold passes for life.
Oh,
And a friend of mine told me like when there was only one, the last one left for gold, so I bought it. That cost me like 8 grand, but I could go to any show with that one, like London, Australia, all the conventions in the U.S. that are like Walker Stalker,
oh
and I don't
wow,
gotta pay because I have that pass.
that's amazing. I didn't know you could even do
Wow.
Yeah,
that.
yes, I got that. So every time I go to the conventions, I get like two free autographs, two free photos, and like T-shirts or whatever they are giving out. So that's for life. I
That's
got it right there. So.
that's good. That's really good.
And also like whatever local convention they do, I go once in a while. I start doing those too
Oh
and
yeah,
stuff.
wow, that's awesome. I mean, that's a
Yeah,
lot of money, but it's awesome. I mean, that's for life. That's pretty worth it, I think.
yeah, yeah.
um, yeah. I mean, hey, you gotta you gotta put money into your passion, man. I get it, man. That's just
Yeah, like the first time I met Abby was the year before, right, Abby? Or last? No,
Yeah,
last.
it
Yeah,
was
so
last year in Boston.
last year in Boston, I actually went to two conventions. I went to in Jersey. I went to one called I think Monster Mania, because I wanted to meet Kate Beckinsale so bad.
yeah.
And so
Oh
I
my
just
god.
went for that, and my car actually broke down, so I had to borrow my parents' car to go to that convention. I
Oh,
almost didn't make it for the photo op that I had bought two photo op with her. I
oh,
made it just on time, and that was like South Jersey, like an hour and a half from me.
oh, Jesus.
So I got there on time, did the two photo op, and that was after work because I had to work that day. So I went to
Right.
that convention afterward, and then I drove all the way to Boston, and I got to the other convention at 6 in the morning. While everybody was sleeping, I was still up all night.
Oh my god.
Wow.
How did you
So
even
I think
stay awake the whole
I
day?
don't, yeah, I don't know. Like I usually don't sleep that much, so I
Right.
was up like for about 40 hours straight, I think.
Oh my god, it's like 2 days almost. Oh my god.
Yeah,
Must have been exhausted.
yeah.
That's crazy. Well,
But it was fun and worth it.
yeah, I bet it was worth it. I mean, it did. Like once the adrenaline kicks in, I mean, you don't really think about sleep at that point. You're just like, you just go, go, go.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've been in that kind of situation before where it was just like, it wasn't a photo op or anything like that, but it was pretty similar. It's just the body just kind of takes over and just kind of compensates for what you lose, and you kind of just running on fumes, but just pretty much energy, adrenaline and everything kicks in.
yeah. And like
Um,
all this convention that I go to, like Walker Stalker, I always drive. I don't fly to them. I drive in
mm,
one day. So I usually drive about 14 to 16, 17 hours depending on traffic and stuff.
wow.
Yeah, I go to like Nashville, Chicago, Atlanta. I drive straight through all of them
Oh my
and
god.
stuff. The best one is New Jersey because it's only like 3 miles from my house.
that one's easy.
Yeah, that one I could wake up late and still make it early.
Yeah. Oh man. So you don't fly, you never flown to any one of them at all, or you just
No, cause if I gotta cosplay, I gotta carry all my stuff, and I can't carry
um
everything like in suitcases, like weapon wise and stuff. They're
yeah,
bigger than a suitcase, so
yeah,
I just put everything in the car and just go.
yeah. I get that because it's like there's a lot of stuff, especially with, like, I guess would be with George, or yeah, with Jerry. I was calling him George. Like, who's George? Um, um, so yeah, like there's a lot of equipment. So I don't think trying to get through that all through TSA would probably be the right choice. So it'd probably be
Yeah,
better just to
yeah.
drive. Yeah.
And now with the new costume with the Shiva outfit, that takes more space. So,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
better to take in the car.
yeah. Much better. Wow. So you said you were from Jersey, or?
Yeah, originally I'm from Puerto Rico, but I live in Jersey. I've been living here
Oh, okay.
for so many years now. So
Wow, man. Puerto Rico's just now getting back on their feet, I heard, with all the storm damage from like last year, I heard.
yeah, and once they were pretty up, and then there was another power outage, and everything went down again, like most of the power
Oh no.
and stuff. Yeah, I got my mom over there, my real mom, cause over here I got my father and my stepmom, but over there I got my real mom, I got my sister, so
Yeah.
they still down there. So
So you still have family over there. That's crazy. Did
yeah.
they receive like the big brunt of the storm, or?
Part of it, I know my mom was like for 101 day without no power, and then she finally got power back for 2 or 3 days, and then it went out again. But then she was able to buy like a electric power plant, so she's able to use that like if the power goes out. So, but the water is still not really safe like they say, like sometimes it comes out dirty, so they always gotta buy bottles of water still.
Yeah, yeah. I heard that the water supply was just no good and that they were struggling with that.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy, man. It's crazy how a storm like that could just take over an island and just kind of just Mother Nature is just like this big massive thing and just goes crazy like that.
Yeah.
It's insane. It's really insane. Well, I mean, dude, listen, my prayers are with you, man. I know how you feel when it comes to that. It's just that's crazy. That is really
Yeah, thank
crazy.
you, appreciate it.
Yeah. So, so have you been in the United States most of your life, or has it just kind of been like back and forth, or?
Yeah, pretty much like I live here like half my life at first until after school, like after high school. Then I've been here like for the last about 15 year, I think, 15, 16 years. So that's why I've been over here like straight after living like half and half. Because I
Yeah.
used to live here, study a couple years, go back, study over there a couple years, then come back. But I've been here since 2003 probably.
Right. Right.
So I just go over there sometime to visit, but I haven't been over there like for 2 3 years so far.
Right. Do they have anything like that, like Comic Cons over there in Puerto Rico or anything like that, or?
Well, they start. I think they got a few. Not really that sure, cause before when I started cosplaying and stuff, that was like my first time knowing about convention now and all that kind of stuff. So before that, I didn't even know anything about conventions or anything. So
Oh wow.
so then I just went to one show that I got invited, and then after that was like hook.
Yeah. After that, yeah, it's pretty easy, huh?
Yeah, but I think they done convention in Puerto Rico, but they're not that many. I think because I saw one last year. Somebody posted like some like two actors from The Walking Dead was gonna be over there in the convention, this and that. But besides that, never heard about any other conventions
Right.
over there.
Yeah. Wow. So how I had a question lined up and I forgot. I had a question lined up and I don't know where it went. I just lost it. Damn it. I was doing so good. Ah. But I was gonna ask. You said you were doing cosplay for a year. Oh, do you have any like other shows besides The Walking Dead that you were interested in?
I'm starting to watch The Punisher. I started last week, so I was actually watching one episode right now, but I went
Oh,
outside and stuff. But
yeah.
I seen Stranger Things. I seen
Oh yeah, it's a good
um,
one.
both seasons. They're pretty good, and of course, Fear the Walking Dead. I started watching that because Morgan did the crossover,
Yeah.
and C Nation. I seen C Nation also.
Mhm.
That's a pretty
Mhm.
funny show.
Yeah.
But let me see. I think those are the ones. Before that, it was like old school. I used to watch Buffy the Vampire, Charm,
I used to watch
and
those.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but those are the ones that I could remember right now out of my head, top of the head.
Yeah. Yeah. So like, what got you into the whole cosplay scene? Like, what drew you to the whole industry there?
I don't know. I just started seeing some cosplayer, like on my first convention that I went to over here in New Jersey. I saw the cosplayer, and some of them I actually thought it was the actual actors from the show, and started following them, taking pictures with them, and then I find out it wasn't them, and I
Mhm.
kind of like it because they look like them, and then they started saying, "Oh, you could cosplay this character, this and that."
Right.
And then somehow I found them on Facebook, and they started helping me out and stuff. So
Yeah.
then I just kept going from there.
Oh. Wow. That's. And I mean,
Yeah,
I was just telling I was telling Abby this before, like that your Jerry cosplay is amazing. I just want to say,
Yes.
thank you.
I mean, it's awesome, and I mean we all love Jerry. Jerry's teddy bear is a sweetheart. Um, do you guys spend like a lot of money like doing this? Like, what is the usual average for like just one character?
It costs some money, yeah. Like trying to find all the actual part that they're wearing. So
Right,
it just depends, but you could easily spend $200 or more sometime
right.
and stuff. So
Because
yeah,
I know like most of the stuff you have to make yourself. Like I know with a lot of the video game cosplayers out there, like a lot of them make like all their costumes like from scratch, And
yeah,
I mean, some of it's like mostly. I know it's probably mostly like foam and cardboard, but it gets a little. I think it gets a little pricey because it's like a lot of them have like really complex cosplays.
yeah,
And I mean, for you, like finding all the parts because when you do Jerry or you know when she does Abby does her cosplay, you have to find the various pieces because you can't really make them because it's got to be you got to have it you got to have it right.
yes. Like my chest armor, that only costs like $70 right there by itself. Then I gotta find the gloves, the knee pad, the elbow
Mhm.
pad, all that part
Yeah,
separate. Just the chest armor is just right there, $70.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
uh,
Because I mean
and
it's
then like the regular clothes that you wear underneath, like the pants, the boots. The boots are also expensive,
mm,
so
yeah,
you can
yeah.
find them cheap. So
And you wear like full boots, like you have like full boots on when you do the cosplay when
yes,
you do Jerry.
yep.
Yeah.
It was funny because when I met Cooper for the first time in Nashville last year and stuff, I was
Nice.
wearing the armor and then I was wearing the burgundy vest over the armor. And by the time I got to him and this and that, started talking to him, he said, "Dude, I don't wear the armor underneath the vest, right? Because I was sweating so much and stuff."
Yeah.
Yeah, cause I took the vest off to take a picture with him, and I wanted him to wear it, but he
Mhm.
only put it like half part of it, cause if not, he was gonna rip it. It was too small for him.
Right.
Cause
Yeah.
he's a big guy too, so
Yeah. Oh yeah.
he couldn't wear it, and then he started laughing like, "Dude, I don't wear both everything together. I'll be dying."
Yeah, he would be. I mean, it's just like
Yeah,
a normal thing where you just got to wear it like well, I imagine like if when he does it and he's like in the heat, like in the middle of either Georgia or Washington, wherever they may
yeah, yeah.
film.
That down in Atlanta, it's always most of the time it's hot when they're filming summertime.
Yeah, it's usually during summer, right? And it just
Yeah,
gets really hot. That's
yeah. I don't know
crazy.
how they do it, but they do it.
A lot of water, I'm sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, that or if he's a beer drinker, he probably drinks a lot of beer. It
yeah.
depends. you know.
I know he drinks a little bit because he actually invited me this past December after the convention. They were giving the season finale of the season 7,
Uh huh.
I think it was.
Yeah.
Whenever it was the mid season, I think it was season 8 actually. Yeah, mid season when Carl got bit. So he actually invited me to the hotel where he was
Oh,
to watch the season finale, and he was drinking beer and stuff. So
so you got
yeah,
to
he
actually
could
like hang out with him.
yeah, yeah, yeah. We talk once in a while through messenger. I mean Instagram messages. We talk
Oh,
once in a while.
that's awesome.
Yeah, so he's real cool with me. Also, his manager is real cool with me too. So
That's awesome.
yeah,
That's pretty cool. So you're like in the lap of luxury. You got the
yeah,
the cool part. Everybody wants that part. Um,
yeah.
do you got okay? So this is a little bit off topic, but well, not really. But if somebody like is not a fan and you could tell they're not a fan, like if they just came to a con just to be there, just to be there because it was just something to do they ever approach you and say like who you are or why are you wearing this or do they ever kind of give you? Just gonna say, they ever gonna give you shit?
Not really. I know I was in a convention not so long ago over here in New Jersey. They were just confused when they saw me because it was like a horror convention. I was wearing the Shiva outfit with the Jerry armor, and they thought for some reason I was like, "Are you Tony the Tiger?"
Oh my god.
I said no. I had to explain it to them and say, "Oh, you are still walking there, right?" And they said, "Yeah, well, I'm a mixture of Jerry and Shiva together and stuff." So then they understand, but they thought for a second there I was Tony the Tiger.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god. Like, how could you mix those two up? Like, what are you thinking? You know?
Yeah,
Tony-
I don't know.
Yeah, like
Yeah, it was funny,
Yeah,
but
Yeah.
like when I was in Boston and that was the first time I was at a con with my Richard cosplay. I was walking by myself through one of the hallways and I passed this guy. And he kind of looks me over and then all of a sudden he's like, "Savior." And I kind of stopped and I'm like, I didn't say anything to the guy, but I'm like,
Savior.
no, like it was just kind of like shocking because Richard was like the most outspoken, like just like Rick of like, the saviors have to die, like I don't like the saviors. And then, you know, he had the kingdom, to me, they're the most noticeable because they have the armor, they have, you know, all these pads, and they have like, you know, the jackets and all of this. So it's like sometimes when you're walking through a con, people just kind of look at you and you're just like, "You watch The Walking Dead, right?" And then they're like, "Yeah." And then you're like, "Well, I'm cosplaying this person." They're like, "Who is that?" Because I've gotten that a lot with Richard because
Right.
for whatever reason, he just kind of blended into the background a lot until Morgan kills him. Spoiler. But,
No, I'm good.
so, so people just kind of look at me and they're just like, "Who are you?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm Richard." And they're like, "Who?" And I'm like, "The guy Morgan killed." And they're like, "Who?" And I'm like, "The guy that got killed over a cantaloupe." And they're like, "Okay, I see, I got you.
Guy with the melon. Come on.
Yeah, basically.
Jeez.
Yeah, so
well,
like,
they weren't that wrong, savior. You were trying to save somebody. You were a savior.
Right.
apparently, I mean,
Oh my god. Because it's like not really. I mean, he's in the background, but he's not really not noticeable. Like he's there.
Yeah.
You can tell he's there.
yeah. Like he was like probably one of the biggest secondary characters of like season 7, and just kind of go around cosplaying him and like no one really knows who you are. It's just kind of like, oh, maybe that he didn't have a big part, but just to me personally, he had a huge part.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
To each their own.
Yeah. Exactly. And that's what I mean. Like you could kind of tell that people are if they're really fans or not. Like if they're just there just to kind of just throw shade on things, or if they're just there as a fan. Just I've heard funny stories about like how people get harassed and stuff like that. So I didn't know for sure because I've never been to a con. I have to just say I've never been to a con. I've never attended an actual con. But I mean, a couple of people that I know that others that do the industry, I hear them talk about how other people would just harass them, and they would get stuff for it, and they would just be there just because it was something to do rather than being a fan of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand that. Like, I think the term cosplay is more, it's more connected with like the Japanese sort of dressing up that they do. Mm-hmm. So when we usually say that we're cosplaying, people are just some people automatically assume that we're just like, oh, you're one of those people, but in reality, cosplay is for everyone, and it's just like that. Like I said, just that word is more used with like the video game community or the anime community. Yeah. So when we go to a convention and we're dressing up, people are like, "Oh, you're dressed up as a character." They're like, "Yeah, we're cosplaying," and they're like, "That's not right," but we're like, "Yeah, that is the term that we use." So when you're not like when you're going to a convention like a horror one or maybe even the Walking Dead one, and you're just you're kind of giving people the side eye for cosplaying. I think that it doesn't happen often, but it happens to where you kind of notice it and you're just like it's a bit disheartening because it kind of like puts a damper on like what you do as a cosplayer, and that to a lot of people cosplaying isn't just dressing up, but you're connecting with a character enough to want to dress up like them and act like them. So
right.
There's definitely a lot of progress that needs to be made when it comes to like cosplaying and like conventions and like just being able to like coincide with, you know, the people that aren't the big fans and the people that are just going to like get out and do something that haven't really seen the show or don't really know much about the characters or like, you know, the cosplay community.
Right. And don't have like the passion, you know, that you guys have for the show because you do, you know, the cosplays and stuff like that, and have a varied understanding about what it takes to really do what you do.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's crazy. I just don't understand that part of it. I don't understand how you could go there.
Yeah,
Just don't know. You don't understand.
some people they just call it. They don't consider it cosplay over here as The Walking Dead. They just call it like impersonator.
Right.
Like we're impersonating the character.
Yeah.
It's like Abby said. It's mostly anime, like Japanese animated. Those are the one that they consider like cosplay and stuff. Cause they do way more than one. Like they do multiple characters and stuff. Cause right now I got a cousin of mine. I didn't know that she used to cosplay until I finally started cosplaying and stuff. That she actually does just Japanese animation cosplay and stuff.
Oh.
And stuff. So those are the one that they call actually like cosplay because they do a whole bunch of different cartoon shows and different characters and stuff. So
Right.
they consider them like cosplay. But us, when we do just like one character, like most of the time, that's why they call us mostly impersonator or whatever it is instead of cosplay.
Yeah.
Because cosplay is like multiple characters, not just one.
Yeah.
And stuff.
Exactly. Yeah. And I mean, it's funny because it's like there's so much that goes into it, and there's I'm sure there's like a lot of thought that goes into it, and when you break it down and when you know the character and you have your favorite, you know, you have to, like me and Abby were talking about this before, like where you have to immerse yourself into that character, and then, you know, once you go to the con as that character, you have to kind of stay in that realm and stay in their head,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and
Yeah.
you know, it's kind of like a really, it's a surreal understanding. I mean, I don't understand it because I don't do what you guys do, but I had a question. I'm gonna ask it. I keep forgetting my question. When I get back to it, I was just like, do you guys work as like, do you guys get paid to do this, or is it just kind of like just something that you do as out of passion? It's just a passion project, and there's no money that exchanges hands.
Yeah, no, it's just passion, a hobby and stuff. We don't get paid for this and stuff. So we just go for fun to the convention and, you know, just smile on people's faces because
Yeah.
a lot of people go to convention and they actually don't have the money to pay for photo ops or autographs to meet the actors and stuff. So
Right.
they just enjoy taking picture with us because we look like the actor, or we're trying to look like the actors and act like them. So they enjoy taking pictures with us for free and stuff, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's why we do it. Like we just do it for fun for us
Mhm.
and for fun for the other fans and stuff. Cause the other fans, you know, they have kids and stuff also, and they love the show. I don't know how they have little kids watch the show and stuff, but you know, the kids love it, and they just want to take pictures with us and stuff. So that
Yeah.
makes it more fun for us too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's also very rewarding that even the actors themselves that portray these characters, they're thrilled to like see their own characters like almost, you know, stand right in front of them, you know, looking back at them.
Yeah.
And you know, like I said, I think that's just very rewarding to like have, you know, like Cooper Andrews or Carl McKinnon or
Mhm.
you know, just Carrie Cahill and Carlos Overo, the Kingdom members, that they're just like, you know, when we meet them, they're
Yeah.
just, their faces light up and they're just so happy, you know, just to see that their characters, which depending on who we cosplay, you know, they're small secondary characters. They're just right in front of them with them, you know, the gear on. You're in your character. You have all the stuff, and you want to meet them. And it's just, I think, you know, it's much more satisfying and like rewarding just to me personally, and probably everyone else that cosplays. Just, you know, just to even make them smile. You know, like characters in shows are supposed to make the audience smile and like appreciate them, but you know, I think to an extent of like what we do, you know, when they see us, they're like, you know, oh my God, you know, we did enough and we had enough impact as a character on these people's lives that they want to be just like us. So I think that's more rewarding than getting paid, you know, for what we do.
Right. I totally agree.
Yeah, it was like last year when we were in Boston and stuff. Like Cooper, Jerry, he was enjoying our cosplay. He actually told us to go up to him, to his table, and stand behind him. Like if we were me, Abbey, and our other friend Jessica, we were basically his kingdom's bodyguards and stuff.
Yeah.
We were with him like for 10 or 15 minutes right there.
That's awesome.
Until he finally said, "Oh, okay, so I'm just gonna let you go now, so you guys do your thing." But he had us for a good 10, 15 minutes, and then he took a picture on his phone and posted it on his Instagram and stuff. So I actually have that picture on my Facebook profile on my background picture.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's cool. So, like, do you guys like? Is there any like contests or anything like that you compete against different characters, or is there anything like that in the con, or is it just kind of like you just go around and you just walk around and just be in character? Is there?
Yeah, the Walker Stalker, they actually have a cosplay contest that they do on Saturday at the end, like on the last hour of the convention. They do a contest of all the cosplayers who want to join in. They have like 3 categories, like heroes, villains, or walkers, because they change the name sometime, and kids. So actually, the first time I cosplayed Jerry last year in Nashville and stuff, I actually entered the contest. I was the last person going in because I was delayed in the photo op. I got there just on time, and I actually won that contest. And there was like 200 people in that contest.
Wow.
And stuff. Cause back then it was everything mixed, but after that convention, after that show, they started dividing the category. But before it was everybody together, like one shot. Like whoever wins. And I was surprised that I won that time.
Yeah.
And stuff, and that was the first Walker Stalker convention that Cooper actually went to, and I pretty much represented him that day.
That's cool.
Yeah, so I won 2 conventions, Walker Stalker convention. Then I entered in Boston, but I didn't win on that one. And then I went to Philly as Jerry the Armor. I had a friend that was doing Shiva, walking on all 4 legs, and we won there too.
Oh yeah.
And stuff. Yeah, but they have a limit. You can't win more than 2 conventions in a year.
Oh.
So after that was it. Like I couldn't win nothing else.
They have a limit. They have a cap. That's typical.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, they would like to give other people chances to win. Plus, the people that do the contest right now, they know my face. So now they're starting to pick the other people. Like, you won too many already. Like, let other people give people a chance. So now, even though I get like cheered up by the people on the contest a lot, they still don't pick me. Because that's what happened this past month. I went to Nashville again because it was last year when I went, so I went back this year.
Right.
And a lot of people knew me, and all the fans were like cheering for me too. But like the person that was doing the contest, they didn't pick me because they already know I won there last year. So
they already knew.
So I just go there for fun and stuff.
Oh yeah, that's cool. It's always good when people know you and you have a sense of belonging, and it's a group thing. It's always good.
Yeah.
It's always good. Well, we're right at an hour and 5 minutes. I mean, we can keep on going if you guys got somewhere to go or something to do, or You know, we
Oh,
can.
well, I don't have nothing to do, but I'm surprised it went 1 hour 5 minutes so fast.
Yeah, it's 11:08. We did a whole hour already.
Nice.
Oh wow.
Not too bad,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, no, it's good.
Well, listen, guys. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for doing this. This was a really cool experience. You, Abby, Alex. You know, it's a real pleasure. It really is.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, no problem. And
Yeah.
please, if we can do this again once I get some more podcasts up. I don't know. It'll probably take a week to like figure out, but if we can do it again sometime, like in the future, like in the way future, I don't know your schedules or anything like that, and that would be great.
Oh, sure,
Yeah,
no problem.
sounds good.
Maybe we could have our other friend in it too, Jessica. Maybe she could join us.
Yes.
That'd be great.
Yes, I was going to ask you about that. Like next time, we should definitely have her on because I'm sure she has like a lot of stories too.
Yeah, with her, we're probably gonna have to do it on a Friday because she usually works for like Saturday through Thursday. She only have like 1 day off from work.
Oh, jeez, yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, it could all be figured out, I'm sure. And she's probably like,
Yeah.
I don't know this guy. I don't want to, do this weird stuff. I get it because it's just like some random guy, just asking you to do a podcast. I get it, but
Yeah.
but really, guys, thank you for what you do, and just keep that Walking Dead light strong, and thank you for doing this.
All
really.
right. Thank you for having us again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Take care,
All right.
guys. Thank you very much.
All right. Take care.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.